Hey Gemini, how's it going? You know, sometimes it's really difficult to settle the mind. The mind is just restless and crazy, like a monkey. Call it the monkey mind. It's just swinging from branch to branch, from thought to thought, and it's really difficult to control. But I find sometimes the best way to control the monkey mind is through self-remembrance, what Gurdjieff called remembering yourself. This is what the Oracle is bringing my attention to bring your attention to, is the monkey mind, and that it can be controlled through just by remembering where you are, what you're doing, and to be totally present. Just remember like, okay, I'm here, the air temperature feels like this, the humidity feels like that, I'm having these thoughts. I'm doing this activity, I'm cooking some pasta, I'm standing on the floor, I'm wearing these types of socks, and just doing these basic things of just remembering yourself wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I'm sitting on a couch, drinking some tea, and just being conscious of that. And the more you do that, the more natural it becomes to just do it automatically. And you'll find that your thoughts cease more easily, and you can get into that meditative, thoughtless state a lot more easily. It's part of a practice. It's like preparation for meditation is self-remembering. It's actually a form of meditation that you can do in all of your activities. Even when you're at work, you can just take a moment and remember yourself. I'm sitting in front of a computer typing on a keyboard, or I just had a conversation with my coworker about this, and just remembering these apparent, close, literal facts that are just occurring right now, and constantly doing that. It can be very difficult. It can be hard to remember yourself. We often forget that we should be doing this practice, and it slips our mind and we don't remember ourselves. So part of remembering yourself is remembering to remember yourself as often as possible. And that's basically the first hurdle of this type of practice, is remembering to do it. Now, I pulled an I Ching hexagram for you after the meditation, and I got hexagram number 42, Yi, or increasing, with a changing line. That fourth line from the bottom changes to, a without falsehood, right? So we have the elements of wind over thunder, which represent this hexagram here. Basically increasing, that could, it's a pretty simple idea, having more of something. It could be literal, like you're gaining profit, or you're getting a pay raise at work, or you walked into some money or something. Something beneficial is occurring. Now, the way I see it, considering what I got in my meditation about the monkey mind, is that you're increasing your spiritual development or your self-awareness practices. And this hexagram is an image of decreasing what is above to increase what is below. So basically, these three lines on the top here, imagine if that one was solid. That would be the three lines for heaven. But it's like heaven decreased a little bit. A yang line became a yin line. And imagine if this line down here was broken. That would be the symbol for earth. But it became a solid line. So you took from heaven to increase the earth, right? That's kind of the idea here, is when we decrease our thoughts, when we control our monkey mind, if the thoughts are the thing that are above, we increase our physical well-being, what is below. So if thoughts are above, the physical well-being is below, you decrease what is above to increase what is below. We decrease our monkey mind, we decrease our thoughts, we decrease some of our unimportant mental activity. Of course, there's plenty of important mental activity that, depending on our circumstances and the moment of the day, we shouldn't decrease. I'm not trying to villainize the intellect here. But, of course, overanalyzing, overthinking, having no control over your thoughts, thinking thoughts that you don't want to think, thinking thoughts that come from somewhere else, someone else's thoughts, or some cultural programming or societal indoctrination, and all these things that get into our heads. To decrease these things increases our quality of life. It increases our physical well-being. It increases our ability to act and to do. It increases our productivity at work or our creativity with our hobbies. It's important to decrease what is above to increase what is below. It could also be something as simple as just accepting what the spiritual world is giving to you. And a lot of the time, in order to accept what the spiritual world is giving us, we have to quiet our minds. Otherwise, it can't get in, you know. It's difficult to receive from the spiritual world or to hear its messages if our waters are choppy, right? But if our waters become calm and still, our emotions and thoughts are still as a clear pond, then the sunlight, the spiritual light, can shine right through very clearly. If it's choppy and turbulent, then the light gets broken up and distorted, and incoherence takes over, and we don't hear the spiritual messages, and we don't get the spiritual benefits or the spiritual impulses that are trying to come in to improve our lives. So, you know, the proper order of life is to take from heaven to improve the earth, is to allow the spiritual impulses to come from the spiritual world and manifest into the physical world. And we have to kind of get out of the way of this. We have to let it happen. And we do that by decreasing our thoughts. That's the key. That's one of the main keys. There are other practices, of course. There are many, many, many spiritual practices we can engage in that allow the impulses of the spiritual world to enter into the material world. There's plenty of things we can do. But our attention today is being brought to the monkey mind and how it needs to be calmed and reined in. So this changing line here, increasing changes to without falsehood, that's it's probably the best changing line you can get in this hexagram. It's someone who's walking the central path, someone who your responsibilities are increasing as well, commensurate with your either material gains or spiritual gains. There is an equal amount of responsibility that comes with it. But I think you've wanted this responsibility. I think it's a type of responsibility that you've been seeking, that you've been asking for, that you were prepared for. You probably want to do more, that you feel you can do more, and you're fully capable of doing more, and you've been looking for opportunities to do more. Well, you're getting them now. And this responsibility is going to increase very greatly, but you will bring enormous benefit to people around you, maybe even to society as a whole, but particularly to, you know, whoever is in your sphere of influence. It could even be yourself. It could even be spirits that you're working with. I just got that idea abruptly. It could be a group of entities that you work with. As it could be anybody, but your responsibilities in this sphere are everybody agrees that you should have them, and you've been looking for them, and it's finally just it's time to happen, and you're getting it. So I'm going to pull some cards for you now. I'm going to use my own divination system here. Got a bunch of symbols. We're going to focus on an aspect of life for you by tossing a coin. And we'll pull some cards based on what the Oracle wants us to pay attention to. So what does Gemini need to know? What aspect of life or reality does Gemini need to focus on today? That went right off the table and landed upside down. Try again. What does Gemini need to know? What are we looking at here? We're looking at the planetary. Wow, I'm tongue-tied. The alchemical symbol for Earth. This one's been showing up a lot. I got 24 symbols here, and the same 3 have been showing up in every freaking reading. Anyway, the alchemical symbol for the Earth. You know, that upside-down triangle with the line through it. So maybe your increase is financial, as well as spiritual. Your your spiritual practice, as it increased, has come with the capacity to deal with increased amounts of wealth. Perhaps you overcame some greed, and now you are able to wield more financial resources because you're not greedy about it, and so you're being given the responsibilities over it. Maybe life has just given you some new resources to work with. I don't know, your job, won the lottery. I have no idea. But what does Gemini need to know about the earth element? Increasing the monkey mind. Here, oh, we got 2 cards. Interesting. Felt like 1. That's funny. Gemini, the twins, 1 thing, yet it's kind of 2 things. So here we have the Knight of Pentacles and the 6 of Swords, which in this case, some of these cards have like a nice little quote in the bottom, or a nice little descriptor. It says, earned success. And the Knight of Pentacles. So this is interesting. This is definitely associated with this itching hexagram of increasing. So the Knight of Pentacles has been on a slow and steady path of increasing, of managing his resources, of bringing them somewhere. Now, this itching hexagram with your changing line in ancient China was indicative of moving a capital city to somewhere else for the benefit of the people. Now, imagine moving a capital, changing the seat of government to a completely different location. This is an enormous undertaking. It takes a great deal of planning, a great deal of organization, a great deal of wealth management and diplomacy and charisma and cultural acceptance, and there's all sorts of things that go into it. Religious rites go into it oftentimes. I've never heard of a capital being established without religious rites. There's always something to be done. Always these huge resources need to be organized and used. And the Knight of Pentacles, he's the guy that moves resources around. You know, he's the cargo ship, he's the freight liner, he's the fleet of freight liners. And this 6 of Swords is like very calm, easygoing, like, and so is this guy. You know, it's very like, it's kind of slow moving, but in a nice way. I just thought of that phrase, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So maybe people around you think you're moving slowly, but you're like, no. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. We can't make mistakes right now. We have to be very deliberate with how we mobilize all of these resources, and you are. And it's going very, very smoothly. And yeah, this is very interesting. So you are making progress with controlling your monkey mind. This is like the mind in calm waters, you know. It's, you know, swords are like a mental energy. And then we just have this guy chilling in these calm waters and his gondola. And you've made excellent progress here with taking from what is above to increase what is below. And you have like a very proper ordering of, you know, your to-do list. And even though you may have abruptly earned a great deal of pentacles, you know what to do with it. I'm going to pull some more cards for you. And you're very calm about it. You're very collected. And you're moving somewhere deliberately. Like you have a clear vision of what to do, how to mobilize these resources, why you're mobilizing these resources. It's a clear and excellent way forward that you've got in mind. I think you just might have to calm your mind a little bit more about it. Maybe you're just over analyzing and stuff. Because here we have celerate, or speed. Here we've got a horse with 2 wheels, and he's like going for it, right? Now that's kind of like the Knight of Pentacles, like picking up steam, like moving ahead. So here I think maybe there are people around you who are like, let's go, let's mobilize these resources, clock's ticking, but you're over here like, I don't know, I have a plan, and it's just making you making you crazy. It's your monkey mind's going like, should I hurry up? Should I, do something else? Should I speed this along? Should I reinvest? Should I find something new that's quicker, that has faster results? And the answer is fuck no. The slow and steady path is the way forward. People say without risk there's no reward. Well, in some cases, risk is unnecessary when you have a very deliberate and clear, methodical, tried and true, proven way of mobilizing your resources and getting through it. And I think you have that, and you just need to stop second guessing it and go along with the plan you've set in motion. And it's just about calming down your monkey mind, and it's okay. You've decreased what is above and you have increased what is below. I know I keep saying that, but it can apply on so many dimensions that like repetition might help you think like, oh yeah, that too. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Like you're going fast enough, and you'll realize that this will actually go a lot faster than you think it will. And so will everyone around you who's giving you a hard time. Eventually they'll be like, oh, okay, that was actually totally fine the way you did it. Sorry for being impatient. Here this horse has reins on it, right? And these two wheels that just like flew off. Where are these wheels coming from? Like what happened? Like this horse is trying to break free. The reins are like on the ground, aiming in the back. It's like this horse is like just broke free from its reins, and it like destroyed the cart, and it's flying everywhere. Like, yeah, no, don't move too fast. Like it's destructive if you do so. You're doing fine. Relax, Gemini, relax. It's all good. I'm gonna pull a token for you. What does Gemini need to know? Six of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, speed, the monkey mind, increasing. Last thing for you, Gemini. Let's see what we got for you. What does Gemini need to know about the earth element here? The river, number 2. Yeah, this is the idea of moving forward at the proper natural pace, right? A river doesn't go too fast or too slow. It goes as fast as it goes. It goes at whatever speed is right and natural, given the circumstances, given the climate, given the amount of water available, given the slope of the land it's on, given the shape of, it goes as fast as it goes, and that's as fast as it goes, and it's never too much of anything. It's never too slow or too fast. It is what it is. And you have that natural, no, this is the pace. This is the pace that these things unfold at. There's nothing to be done about it. All the proper channels, all the proper things are in place. They're all working. The wheels are turning. The river is flowing. It's all going at the speed it goes. You just have to be patient and go down the river with it. And yeah, you are coming into understanding that. Like, you've probably been doubting or confused about that, whether the pacing is correct, whether all of that. You've got a monkey mind bringing you all around, stirring the pot, and making you second guess all this stuff and trying to find shortcuts, or like a speedboat or something. But no, you just need to stop worrying about it. It's all working out exactly as it's supposed to. There's literally nothing to freak out about. There's nothing to overthink. There's nothing to overanalyze. There's nothing to change. It's just unfolding naturally the way it's supposed to go. The river. The river also, in a more esoteric sense, is like, it's a combination of will and feeling. So, if the human being is thinking, feeling, and will, the river is kind of just will and feeling without thinking. That's kind of what it represents. So it's like, it's 2/3 of a human being is, if we have thinking, feeling, and willing, feeling and willing. Again, it's about not worrying so much about the thoughts. Your thoughts are betraying you maybe a little bit at this time, and your intuition is probably a better thing to follow at this time anyway. It's not necessarily always the case. Sometimes our mental acuity is excellent and we have to follow our intellect and not our feelings. But in this case, it's like your will set all this in motion already. It earned you your greater responsibilities. Your will brought you to where you are now, this place of abundance, this place of increasing your power, increasing your wealth, increasing your responsibility. And now your intuition has to guide you forward down the river of time. And your intellect can kind of just take a back seat for a moment and just go with the river flow. And once you clear your mind and remember yourself, remember where you are, who you are, what you're doing in the moment right now. You're watching this YouTube video. Maybe you're sipping on some water or eating a snack. What kind of chair are you sitting in? Are you standing? Are you doing yoga? Remember these things right now. And do it as often as possible. And you'll find that you're floating down the river, just remembering yourself. And if you do this practice and keep it up diligently, before you know it, you'll be down at the end of the river at your goal, at the unfolding of what your goal was, the mobilizing of all these resources. You'll be there and you'll be like, oh, I'm here. Wow, time flew. I thought we were going slowly. But you're going at the correct pace and it won't feel like a long time. It might not actually be a long time that the resources are fully mobilized and the goal is met. Just remember yourself. All right, Gemini. I think that's all that the Oracle and I have for you today. It was great hanging out with you. I always appreciate seeing you. Thank you so much for stopping by. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time.